Hey, what's up YouTube? So today I'm here to showcase a hybrid endgame build for the Magicka Necromancer, also known as Magcro. This build is capable of pulling over 117k on the parse dummy. I will be using mythics and trial gear, so once again this is not a beginner friendly build, but rather more for endgame players. The downside of hybrid builds is that you're going to be lacking in stamina and or penetration, so these builds are optimally run in optimized groups. Furthermore, hybrid builds tend to be more melee focused rather than ranged because of the sustain issues if they have too many Magicka skills. With that being said, here's the build. So starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in a Magicka and I'm running the Thief Mundus. For the race, I'm a high elf. I think high elves offer the best benefits for Magicka DPS. For the food, we're going to be running Clockwork Citrus Fillet for any hard content. A cheaper and almost just good alternative would be Witch Mother's Potent Brew. And lastly, if you're parsing or need more sustain, then Ghastly Eyeball is always the go-to. For the potions, we're just going to be using standard essence of spell power. Reason is we don't have access to any of these buffs: Major Prophecy, Major Sorcery, and Major Intellect. These potions do cost a bit to make, so make sure you have 3 points in a medicinal use to benefit from the full duration of the potions. So for CP for the blue tree, we're going to be running Wrathful Strikes, Thaumaturge, Biting Aura, and Mastered Arms. For the red tree, Sustained by Suffering, Siphoning Spells, Rejuvenation, and Balanced Vitality. So for the gear, we're going to be running 5 pieces of Reliquin paired with 5 pieces of Pillar and Nern, 2-piece Zon, and 1-piece Harpooner's Kilt. So breaking down in the main hand, we have a Reliquin's Dagger, Nernhone with a flame damage enchant. In the offhand, a charged Pillar and Nern Dagger with a poison damage enchant. For the back bar, we have a Pillar and Nern Greatsword infused with a weapon damage enchant. For the head and shoulders, we have 2 pieces of Zons, both in Divines with a Max Mag enchant. For the chest, waist, hands, and feet, we have 4 pieces of Reliquin, all traded in Divines with Max Mag enchant. And for the leg slot, we have a Harpooner's Waiting Kilt. This is in Divines with a Max Mag enchant as well. And for the jewelry, we have 3 pieces of Pillar and Nern jewelry, all traded in Bloodthirsty with spell damage enchants. So for the skills, you're going to be running Stalking Blastbones, Ricochet Skulls, Deadly Cloak, Detonating Siphon, Barbed Trap, Flawless Dawnbreaker. On the back bar, Stampede, Avid Boneyard, Carve, swap this out for Degeneration if you want to run the static version, Scalding Rune, Skeletal Archer, and Shooting Star. So first I'm going to talk about the dynamic rotation. This is the rotation I use for the parse. So you're going to prioritize your Blast Bones over anything else. So cast Blast Bones and then 2 skills after that. So the rhythm would be Blast Bones, skill, Blast Bones. And then all of your dots are going to be run dynamically, meaning we're going to prioritize Carve, Stampede, Avid Boneyard, Barbed Trap, Detonating Siphon, Skeletal Archer, Deadly Cloak, and Scalding Rune. And then whenever all your dots are up and you have some time before one of them falls off, spam your Ricochet Skull. And lastly, when you have your ultimate, Shooting Star, just drop that whenever. And then just a quick tip, try to activate your Boneyard synergy on your front bar, and either on Blast Bones or a Siphon cast. So next up we have the static rotation. I did parse 110k with this build. So I started off with Blast Bones, Stampede, and Avid Boneyard. Blast Bones, Degeneration, and Scalding Rune. Blast Bones, Skeletal Archer, Barbed Trap. Blast Bones, Detonating Siphon, Deadly Cloak. Blast Bones, Stampede, Avid Boneyard again. And then Blast Bones, Ricochet Skulls, Ricochet Skull. And then you want to do this 3 times total, and then just go back to the beginning part of the rotation. Same thing as always, use your Boneyard synergy on Blast Bones or Siphon cast, and then drop your Shooting Star in place of a Ricochet Skull. And very quickly for the opening rotation, it was just Skeletal Archer, Shooting Star, Bar Swap, Barbed Trap, and Blast Bones. So closing thoughts, first up, if you're having trouble with Carve, you can just drop Carve and run Degeneration. It'll help your stamina out as well. The thing about having so many stam skills is if you keep recasting them early, you're not going to have enough stamina, and that's why we swapped to Degeneration for the static rotation. And one more thing, if you're in a group that needs major vulnerability, Colossus is a really strong ultimate to run as well. So first up for gear alternatives, you can run Core Riptide instead of Reliquin. Core Riptide is going to vastly outperform Reliquin in AoE fights. Other gear sets you can consider, Advancing Yokeda's pretty good if you can keep up the stacks. Whirl of Depths isn't bad at all. Aegis Caller is really good for AoE, and Sororia is a really strong set this patch. And for mythic alternatives, you can go Death Dealer, Mora, or even Sea Serpent's Coil. And for monster set alternatives, Stormfist, Maul, and Kjarnar are also good options. And I think that wraps it up. As always, thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or better yet, come join our Discord. There's also a PlayStation North America ESO community Discord that I'm a part of, so if you happen to be on that server, you should come join that as well. I have recently started a YouTube membership, so if you feel like my content is worth a sub, please consider taking a look at it. As one of the perks for membership, I will be prioritizing builds for my members. Lastly, I also have a website available now with written guides on there. Link will be in the description. And as always, thank you for watching the video. I'll let this parse play out and add an outfit section at the end. See you in the next one.